Welcome everybody, Adam Has a Podcast, episode 30. Ba-doo! We've made it to 30 episodes. I think I saw a statistic, a factoid, whatever you want to call it, a while ago that said most podcasts only last about 20 odd episodes. So we've made it to 30 now. We've made it beyond the most podcasts, if that is a correct stat that I read and that I remember. The number might be completely wrong. I might have got it completely wrong. Either way, I'm happy to have made it this far. Let's not pat ourselves on the back too much. I know I do not do a lot to promote this podcast. I used to when it first started, and I thought, you know what? Let's ease off it a little bit. Let's not shove it down people's throats. Let's just relax a little bit. So a lot of people, therefore, don't see it. And a lot of people don't watch it. That's not a problem. I love making these because I just love talking, and it's great practice when I'm not on stage, when I'm not performing stand-up comedy. This is the thing that keeps me from being super rusty, essentially. This is the thing that keeps me in form when I'm not performing, because I've got to talk for an hour, right? And I usually don't really have a roadmap of things that I want to talk about. There's things this week I've written on a little piece of paper over here that I am going to be talking through. And the first thing that I want to talk through is last week's episode, right? So I was part way through talking about my holiday to Malta and the podcast shut off. The video cut off. I mentioned probably about 5 minutes earlier saying that, I'd had a warning on my screen to say that I'm running out of storage, and I didn't wrap it up in time, and it just went off. So I don't know what I said properly. I don't know what I got up to. Let's wind it back then. It was my 38th birthday. I turned 38 last week, and I'll be honest, I've got to the stage now where every time I hit a birthday, it hits me back, and it hits me harder and harder every time, because I look at how old I am, I look at where I am in life, and I look at where I want to be in the future, and I go, 38, well, I should be more of an adult by now. I should have this thing in place. I should have that thing in place. So these are the things that are like milling around my head a little bit. You know, I've mentioned this in the past. I probably should be married by now. I probably should have kids by now. I probably should be able to drive by now. Those are probably the three big things that I should be getting done. Let's be completely frank about it. And I look back, and it's stuff that I should have done 10 years ago. Again, let's be completely honest about life. It's stuff that I should have done about 10 years ago, 28 years old. That would have probably been the perfect time to get some of this stuff done. And I didn't do it. I've let time go by. The pandemic happened. You can only blame it for so much, Adam. Life viciously hurtles on, and you just got to keep rolling with the punches, young man. Not so young anymore, though, are you? And especially when you're not young, there's certain things, not just things that I should be doing, there's certain things that you shouldn't be doing. That's important. I did a video on this today. I chucked it up on social media, and I talked about things that I've wanted to do in life that now I will never do. I will never be able to do these things, I'm pretty sure. So the first one is trampoline parks. I think now I'm too old for trampoline parks. I've already knackered me back doing nothing last week. Can you imagine what I would do if I went to a trampoline park for an afternoon properly, like people do? Plus, I'm 38. I can't just be turning up to a trampoline park. That's not on. I don't have kids, so I can't even take my kids and have a little bounce around with them and then go, do you know what? I'm back a little bit now. I'm going to sit over here in the cafe. I can't even do that either. So I'll never go to a trampoline park. It's something that I will never get to experience. I was supposed to go with a few of my mates about 5 years ago. And maybe even before that. Might have even been 2019. I can't remember. But it was my idea. I was like, let's go trampoline park. I think I was sick. I didn't go. They all went to the trampoline park. They all said, listen, afterwards, our backs was all knackered. We proper paggered ourselves out doing that. And that was years ago. Now imagine what it would be like now with my bad back already if I was to do that now. So that's one thing that I don't think I'll ever be able to do. Another thing, American frat parties. Those college parties in America. I remember growing up watching those parties, and they looked like the most fun thing in the world. It looked like that is going to be what university is going to be. Now that is like a heightened level of what university is, but I would never go to a frat party now. I'm 38 years old. People at uni in America are 18 to 22. I'm over twice a lot of their ages. Like 18-year-olds, I'm over twice their age. I'm 20 years older than them. Like, it'd be ridiculous for me to ever go to an American frat party now. So unless I end up doing a documentary, or unless I end up like playing a principal in a film or something. I will never be an American frat pie in my life. Now listen, I don't drink. It's a big part of what they do is the drinking and all that stuff. But I'd still love to have gone. I love to socialise, make friends. That for me would have been something that I would have thought was really, really fun when I was younger. And now I'm 38, I go, oh, that is something that I would just never do. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not sat here being like, oh, bloody hell, I want to do it tomorrow. Because I don't want to do it now. Because I'm 38. But I look and I go, it is an experience in my life that I would have loved once upon a time that would just never be experienced. Another thing, living abroad for a year. It's something that if I didn't play hockey at uni and didn't properly love playing hockey at uni and like playing with like my teammates, loved my teammates like they were my brothers, closer to some of my teammates than I've ever been to my actual brothers. Like that's what it was like back then. Honestly, amazing times. If I didn't love that so much, maybe I would have gone and lived abroad for a year, done a study abroad year. I wish I would have at least done Camp America. I just didn't really ever have that kind of drive or self-belief to be like, oh, I could go to America and just figure it out and like be all right and not just get lost somewhere on the side of the road. I will be fine. I can figure it out. I never really had that belief that I could actually do it. So I shied away from it when I was younger. And I'm too old. I'm 38. I can't take a year out now. I'm almost 40. Imagine if I took a year out now and I just moved to, I don't know, Sri Lanka for a year. I come back and I'm knocking on 40 years. Everyone be like, Adam, what is he playing at? Adam, like he's having a midlife crisis or something. So that is something that, again, that I probably will never get to experience unless I just move abroad in the future. Now, I guess the argument could be made. My mother's family's from Poland. My dad's family's from Pakistan. I've lived abroad technically all my life. I'm from a place that my entire bloodline on both sides never got to visit before two generations ago. So I guess that is something that you could say, do you know what, you've technically lived abroad, you've got to live and experience a different version of life than what the people who came before you did. So maybe there is an argument to say that. What was the other stuff that I had as well? There was some other things that paintballing. Paintballing is one I've always wanted to do. I thought it looked so fun. You end up going to work and then you speak to all the colleagues there and they go, oh yeah, we've all been to paintballing separately. So I'm like, okay, no one wants to go paintballing together. Then you speak to all your mates and go, yeah, we've all been paintballing separately. Like, I've never been. I want to go paintballing. Maybe, touch wood, I'll get married, I'll have myself a stag do, we'll go paintballing. But I just feel like at 40 years old, I feel like I'm too old to be running around with me pals paintballing now. Those little things look like they hurt as well. When I was younger, probably nothing hurted me back then. But now, everything hurts me. My back hurts, I've not even done nothing. So I feel like paintballing is something that maybe now I will never ever get to experience. And the biggest thing that I will never get to experience, and the one thing in life that if I look back on and I go, what is one thing that you would have liked to have tried that you got really nowhere near? And that is being a professional wrestler. We mentioned a second ago how when I was in uni, I didn't have that belief that I could go to do Camp America and just go out to America for 2 or 3 months, work there, relax there, travel around a little bit and then come back. I didn't feel like I'd be able to do that and figure things out, and I'd just be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So when it comes to wrestling, I'm a massive wrestling fan. I've always been a massive wrestling fan. Absolutely adored it as a child. Even now, I will consume so much wrestling media every day and I don't even realise it. Whether it's podcasts, whether it's the wrestling cards that I collect, no matter what it is. There's some packs of them emptied over here from when I did an opening recently. Like, look at that. Like, there's just wrestling stuff all over the place. And I would have loved to become a professional wrestler. As a 38-year-old, I look back and I think to myself, well, I guess when I was at 16 years old to 18, if I would have researched it online thoroughly, I would have been able to find out where it is. Then if I would have researched how to get there, I would have been able to get there every night, get myself back. And that could have been my pattern. And then I could have gone to the gym all the time and tried to put on that kind of bulk as well at the same time as learning all that moves. And I think I would have been good at it. I think I would have been a good wrestler because the same thing happens with comedies. It's all about that connection with the audience. It's all about figuring out what wavelength they're on and how to use the tools in your toolkit to get the best response possible out of them. And that's what I do in stand-up. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't get a 10 out of 10 every single gig. But I've got to the point now where you can trust me now on almost any line-up. You can put me out there and I'll do you a good job. I will get on board with the audience and I'll move them in a certain direction. I felt the only thing that I would have had to do with wrestling, obviously, is just figure out all the technical stuff, all your footwork, all your movements, like get your body a bit big so you look like a wrestler. And I think I could have been a good professional wrestler. Whether I would have made it to the top of the top WWE champion, that's a different story. Where I would have even been signed by the WWE or one of the American companies, that's another story in itself. But I could have done what I'm doing now in stand-up, travelling around the UK, wrestling on the circuit and that kind of thing. And if I just had that window to maybe break it into the mainstream, with social media, with the fact that every show gets recorded and people see the clips online and stuff like that, I would have had that in my mind of like, how can I get viral moments in my matches? How can I do this? How can I make more of a name for myself? Those are the things that would be in my mind as a wrestler that I would have tried to do. However, I'm 38 now. I will never be able to do that. I'll never be able to become a professional wrestler. And I was saying then, I can look back now as a 38-year-old and be like, I should have done that at 16. I should have researched this thing. At 16, I never had the belief that I could become anything. And when I say anything, I genuinely mean anything. I had such of a lack of self-belief when I was younger, in the sense of a profession, that I just didn't believe any of this stuff would happen for me. I didn't even believe that I could get an office job, never mind anything else. I didn't think anybody would hire me for any job, because the schooling that I had, don't get me wrong, I very rarely turned up to school. But when I did turn up to school, it weren't great. It wasn't like I was being told by the teachers, you can be whatever you want to be. Put your mind to it, you can achieve it. I wasn't told stuff like that. I was told stuff like in school, like, you need to stop messing around or you'll never become anything. And that is what I was fed for years and years and years. And I'll be honest, I'm not really bitter about it. I guess I am to an extent because it's in there somewhere. But I don't have a major problem with that they did that kind of thing, because I understand that the teachers, they're just there for a job. Although it might be kind of a vocation for some of them, they might have their beliefs that they're trying to make happen and try and make kids do well. But at the same time, if a kid's coming around dicking around, he's not turning up all the time, you're not going to spend as much time with him. And no teacher ever really reached me, I'll be honest with you. No teacher ever did that. So when I was 16, when I was 18, I didn't have the belief that I could achieve something like a dream of being a WWE wrestler. I just didn't think it was a possibility. I also didn't really understand that all these big megastars, they all started out as a skinny kid once upon a time, and they just went to the gym and maybe did other things as well with injections, but we won't go there today. I didn't really understand that you could go to the gym and with the right diet, with the right exercise regime, or with the right vitamins, let's just call them, you could get that kind of a body. You could look the part and you could become a professional. I didn't know these things back then, and it was never anything that kind of soaked into my consciousness. So I literally went to college because I didn't want to have to get a job, because I thought I'm going to end up getting a really tough, really hard job that I hate, and that's going to be my life forever. I'm going to be miserable. And then when I finished college, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to uni because I need to push this back as long as possible. And even when I finished uni, I was struggling to get a job then. But either way, I would have loved to become a professional wrestler, and I would have loved to have done it when I was 16 and like really gone for it and really made. And that's why I've got a lot of respect for people like Tony Wright. Tony Wright was like a semi-pro stand-up comedian for a few years. And when the pandemic happened, he made a shift and went, you know what, I'm going to stop this road of stand-up comedy. I'm going to put my eggs in the professional wrestling basket. I'm going to try to become a professional wrestler. And he seems to be doing very well. Every time I see something else on social media, he's doing well. He seems to be getting better. He seems to be getting more trusted because they're giving him the belt. Of course, you don't win the belt in wrestling, but the promoter, the guy who runs the company, puts it on you. They want to put it on you because they want you to be the face of their company, no matter which belt it is, whether it's a tag team one or a lower one or the world heavyweight one, or I guess it's not going to be a world title, but you know what I mean. So I got a lot of respect for Tony Matt. I got a lot of respect for my mate Deck, who also is going through that process as well. Like, he's gone through wrestling school, he's starting to make appearances on wrestling cards. Got a lot of respect for these people for going for it in something that I am extremely passionate about. It's something that is just all encompassing. I love wrestling so much. Maybe one day I'll like own myself a wrestling company. If I ever have the finances where I can go, do you know what? Yeah, I can like try and lose 10 grand on a wrestling show and then maybe make profit and maybe even get up. But if I ever have that kind of money where I can just chuck that 10 grand around, maybe that's what I'll be doing. Maybe that's what you'll see me doing in the future. And then maybe I'll just put myself in matches, and that'll be how I'll live out that fantasies. I'll put myself in matches, and obviously I'll let my top guy beat me, because I've got to, don't I? It's my company. I need us to make money, so he's got to beat me. Come back next month, and he's got to go for the title. Then I'm going to cheat him out of it. Spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's what I'd love to do. I'd love to be a wrestler. That's the big passion of mine. Because if I can never be a footballer, that's the other thing that I wanted to be. I wanted to be a wrestler or a footballer when I was a kid, and I wanted to play internationally for Pakistan as well. I wanted to get Pakistan to the World Cup and just score one goal for Pakistan at the World Cup. That, for me, was the dream. And again, I never knew how to even become a footballer. I didn't even know. I knew Sunday League existed, but I knew that you had to be an adult to join that. I didn't know that there was like kids teams you could just join. I knew like the Beavers and the Badgers and, you know, the Scouts. They had a team that they just played in their bloody on the concrete in front of their place. I know they did that. I never really knew about these things. I wish I would have joined an organised team when I was young, tried to make, and let's really push towards that. Because again, it was something that I'm massively passionate about. Loved it so much. Good, talented, natural born goal scorer. Anyone who's ever played football with me, they'll say that I was a tip liner. They say I'm an Inzaghi, born offside. Find me in the area, put that ball in the back of the net. Not now, 38, way done. Never would have made it all the way to the top. The chances that would have been so slim. Some kind of a career, even, you know, conference level, maybe even just Sunday League, Saturday League level, that would have been fun. But, you know, I never went for it. It never happened. I didn't know about it. Again, I'm not resentful about it, because, and this is why as well, I really want to go for it in stand-up, is because I've had these things in my past that I can recognise I was really passionate about and never made it. I never even tried to do anything about it. In fact, here's the thing. When I left uni, my mates were on a Sunday League team, and I went to training with them a few times, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll play with you on Sundays. I'll play hockey on the Saturday, and then I'll play Sunday League with you on the Sundays. And I never got that far to playing the games. I just went to a few training sessions, and then I never really kept up with it. Stuck too much with hockey, which in hindsight, I probably could have just binned off hockey at that stage. And then I went to one wrestling lesson to learn to be a wrestler, and I think I gave myself a concussion doing it, because I had a banging head afterwards. And I thought, you know what, it's all the way on the other side of Manchester. I've given myself a banging head after the first one. I can't imagine doing this over and over and over again. But that's when I was like 25, maybe. Imagine if I'd kept up with it. I'd be 13 years in now. Maybe I would be somewhere. But listen, you can't say that, because there's so much that goes into it. So much hard work that I skipped out. But in stand-up, I'm willing to put that work in. And then for me, I'm willing to really put in those hard yards. And it's the difference between the people who don't end up doing much and the people who end up doing even more. So there's people who do way more than me, and they get bigger and better gigs than me, and I think I need to keep putting more effort in. And I like that. I like seeing people who are clearly doing more than me, and it makes me think I need to do better. I need to get on their level and really like start to hit that kind of achievement. But speaking of stand-up, did I talk about Malta? I didn't even talk about Malta. I was supposed to talk about Malta. It was a lovely holiday, very sunny, very warm. I got a beautiful little tan line here on my legs from where my shorts were, which is ridiculous. I did like a tour around the islands, and it was a very pretty thick place to go if you like an island, if you like the sun. It was a nice mixture between, I would say, Italy and Morocco, and like North Africa and like that side of Europe. It was like a perfect blend of those kind of places. The food, people keep asking me about the food. I'm not a big foodie. I eat the same thing everywhere I go. Most of the stuff there wasn't halal. I'm having to scour the menus just to find stuff. My back was knackered, so there was the downsides of the holiday with that stuff. But overall, Malta in itself, if people were asking me, I'd say go check it out. Go check it out at least once. Experience it. Oh, here's something. When I was on that bus tour, there was a guy upstairs. It was an open top bus, and he stood up and he banged his head off a bridge. Bro, that can end you. That guy might be. It might be his funeral coming up soon, for all I know. I seen him walk down, and his face is a crimson mask, just streaks of red coming out of a big gash he's got there. Not good whatsoever, guys. And yeah, I felt really bad for him. He's actually been on my mind quite a bit since then, and I hope he's okay. Because best case scenario is just a concussion. Because whatever, even if the bus is slowing down, you're going 15, 20 miles an hour, you bang your head off a bridge. That bridges ain't built for your head to be banged off on, mate. Like, not good. But yeah, go check out Malta. Right, comedy, stand-up comedy. We touched on it. I'm in the middle of 3 weeks off. However, about 7 p.m. In fact, I think it was something like 6:55 on Saturday. Bear in mind, England were playing in the third place playoff against France at like 9, 10 o'clock. I get a phone call from Jack Kelly. Hiya, mate. How are you doing? Yeah, mate, I'm good. How are you? Yeah. Are you free? And I'm thinking, I am free, but I don't really want a gig tonight. I just want to sit and chill and watch England play. But I thought, no, I like Jack. He's my friend. I'm not going to lie to him. I'll tell him I'm free. And if I don't want to do the gig when he tells me where it is, I'll just be honest with him and tell him I don't want to do it. I go, yeah, I'm free actually, yeah. Can you get to West Norton? I got a gig for you. It's this amount of money. It's this amount of minutes. Someone's had to drop out. I'm like, West Norton's not that far from my house. I'm like, what time's show time? 8 p.m. He's like, no, 7:30 show time. I'm thinking, 7:30? That's like 35 minutes. I need a shower, and then I need to get there. Google Map it. Google Maps says if I leave in 8 minutes, I can get there for around show time. I was just a bit after. I said, you know what, Jack? I'll do it. I'm your man. Jumped in the shower. Boom. Cleaned up. Boom. Dressed. Boom. Out there. Onto the bus. Over to West Norton. Bus drops me off about a 3-minute walk from the venue. I get there and Pete Selwood is on. And Pete Selwood is absolutely smashing it. He's doing a brilliant, brilliant job. Now, I obviously have come in partway through his set. As Pete comes off stage and I'm stood at the back, he looks at me and he goes, I had to work really hard for that. And I'm thinking, you smashed it, bro. You did incredibly well there. Comes to be, what I didn't see at the start of the night, there was a guy who was a little bit leery, let's say, maybe on the snow, let's just say, and he was just continually interrupting right at the start of the show. And by the time I get there, and I see at least half of Pete's set, this guy's been booted. So I don't see all that stuff. I just see Pete doing really well and really having the audience on side. And one woman interrupted him while I was there, but it wasn't really anything major, and he kind of dealt with it, and then he went on to the end and then closed out his set. So now we're having this conversation. I'm thinking, okay, he's done brilliantly what I've seen, but yeah, I guess I've not seen the car crash at the beginning where he's trying to do well, and then this guy's ruining it for everyone. The guy in the front row. So apparently him and his mate got kicked out after like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You got to be a special kind of bell sniffer to get kicked out of a gig after 5 minutes. Like, that just doesn't really happen ever. And like the fact that they got kicked out, I guess, shows that their calibre of person that they were. Then there was a break. Then I went on. Bear in mind, at this stage, we're like, what? An hour after I've had a phone call to say that you're on. I've had to shower, get there, and all this stuff in that time. And then there's me and another lad in the middle. Charlie Ashton's in the middle, and he's got there a little bit late. He's got something going on as well, to be fair to him. I don't know what it is. It's none of my business, so I didn't ask. But Jack asked, he asked Charlie, goes, do you want to go on first or do you want to go on second? He goes, well, I've just got it. Can I go on second? I said, listen, not a problem for me. Put me in, coach. Get me in, get me gone, let me go home. So Jack goes, no problem. I'll get you on first. Jack goes on, boom, does his thing, gets me on stage, and I had a lovely time of it. I had an absolutely lovely time of it. I've started to do a whole block of jokes about Bolton at the start of my set now. A whole block of them. So when I do a Bolton gig, it's there straight away. I can go into autopilot mode. I don't even need to think about it. I just need to assess the breaks in the room between the laughter, and then where do I start up again as the laugh starts to come down, and then you can boom it in with another one and get that big roaring laugh again once you give them that breath back. Those are the only things I need to worry about now. I'm just going into material, Bolton this, Bolton that, Bolton this, Bolton that. Audience loving it. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. I'm supposed to be sat in my house in my boxes with a boiling hot room thinking, oof, when's England starting? When's England? So that's all I was supposed to be doing. Did it. Had a very nice time of it. Really enjoyed it. Left, got the bus, back to Bolton, grabbed a pizza, went home. Ate my pizza on the way back. Guys, I don't think there's a better pizza than the pizza you eat walking back from a night out. I think that is the best pizza. I've had pizzas in restaurants in Rome. I've had people make me pizzas from scratch. Homemade pizza. I've had all the ones you can buy from the supermarket, your Chicago Towns, your that. I've ordered all your pizza huts, I've eaten in pizza hut, I've had all your Domino's, I've had all that stuff. There's nothing better than that walking home. For me, it's after a gig. For you, like, it'd be after a night out. Maybe you've had a few splashes and that. There's nothing better than walking home after a gig, a successful gig, when I weren't even supposed to be out in the first place. I'm eating that pizza. Ooh, that's the best pizza you'll ever have. That is such an enjoyable pizza. When my brother was back for Christmas, I remember meeting him in town after a gig. He'd met some of his friends, and I messaged him going like, oh, I'll meet you outside the pizza place. We'll go grab a pizza, we'll walk back. We did it about 2 or 3 times, actually, when we went to see Peter Kay. Was that the year before we went to see Peter Kay? Went and come and got a pizza together on the way back. On that bonding time, just me and my brother, I'm eating the pizza on the way back. He's just carrying it, going, oh no, I'm eating it together. He doesn't know. My brother doesn't know the greatness of the late walk back pizza, guys. You've heard it here first. Try that out. It's an unbelievable pizza. What have I got coming up this week? Well, I told you I'm in the middle of 3 weeks off. Well, this is ending now because obviously Jack ended it. My next gig is actually Thursday next week, so you're going to see this on Thursday, hopefully. Well, Thursday next week, the last Thursday of the month. I've got a gig in Preston. I think it's at the Aviary, I think it's called. And I've done it before, opened it before, and there's actually a reasonable pizza place down the road, but it's not the Waterback Pizza, is it? It's not the Waterback Pizza. So yeah, I've got a gig there at the Aviary. And it should be fun. And actually, I feel a little bit bad because he did ask me if I've got any crowd work clips I can send him. And I've just not had the time to go over my stuff and send him stuff. In fact, I thought of it when I was on holiday and I didn't have any crowd work stuff on my phone. Like, all my gigs were just off my phone. So I was like, right, okay. So I've not been able to send him anything. So I do feel a little bit bad about that. So maybe I should try and find something before next week for him. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Either way, I'm excited to do it. It's in Preston. I'm assuming it's ticket based, but if you're in Preston and you fancy watching it, Aviary in Preston, come down, have a little watch. But before that, I'm going to be on Bolton FM on Wednesday night, 8 till 10. I'm going to be in the studio, and I don't know how long I'm going to be in the studio for, but that's the time. And the guy's called Manny, and he's got. He said it's like a comedy show. Now I think the way that he explained it to me was like banter. It's like a banter hour. Now, I'm not really too sure what I should really be saying on live radio, even if it's a banter hour. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be a bit cautious, especially as we start, and hopefully I'm going to grow into it. But that's what I'm doing next week, and I'm quite looking forward to it, because usually when I go on, I do Rebel Rachel's show. Now, I like Rebel Rach with friends, and but she's like more of like a music, or more like a host in general. And when she talks to me, she's just talking to me like house comedy going and stuff like that, which I'm assuming he's going to ask me some of this stuff as well. But I guess if this is a comedy show, maybe there'll be a bit more room for just joking around. Because again, I never really know how to approach it properly and how to get the most juice from that squeeze in terms of radio. Yeah, because for me, I always want to do as great of a job as possible, and maybe I go a little bit too cautious usually. Maybe when I'm on radio, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's something that's coming up next week. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to trying it and joking around. Oh, I also, when I was on the plane to Malta, I wrote a children's book. When I was on the plane back from Malta, I wrote another children's book. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but they're both, I would say, quite about parables is the wrong word, because it's like parables is what you call something in the Bible, isn't it? But it's like, I guess it's like life lessons that people need to know. One of them is a little bit cheeky, one of them. And I don't know if it'd be suitable for children, or because in my mind I've written it so that the children don't really get what the joke is, but the adults reading it get the joke. So you know, like when you watch Toy Story and like you watch it as an adult and you go, oh, that's actually quite a cheeky joke that they've slid in there that the kids don't get, but all the adults understand. Muppet Treasure Island, stuff like that. There's these like little gags here and there that are just for the adults. I kind of written this book so that the adults can be like, they can understand the joke, but the kids can just get it for like the learning lesson, if that makes sense. So I've written two. I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine who I went to college with, who used to be an art teacher. I'm going to see if she wants to collab on this and if she wants to do the illustration. And then, yeah, I might just order like 100 of these books and then just see how they sell. I guess I'll have to negotiate with her, like, of what kind of a price you would want for it all. And these are the things that I don't really understand. And I'm a little bit wary because I'm quite easygoing when it comes to business deals between friends. But some people really, really, really cannot separate business and friendship. And to them, everything is the same, and they don't. So I've had people recently upset because they just assumed they were going to get more money for something when they didn't ask what the money was beforehand. And if they would have asked me, I would have told them this is what the money is for this job, and they got upset about that. So I'm a bit wary now, because in that instance as well, I was doing that person a favour because there was more suitable people for the job, but I thought, you know what, I'll see if they want to do it, because I can get so many other people to do it for this price, but I'll see if they want to do it, give it to them, and did it, and then they were unhappy with it in the end. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll have that chat with her, see if it is something that she's interested in. If it is, then we'll go ahead with it and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's something interesting, and I'll be honest, I always think in terms of merch, what can I do? So I thought of making pens recently and putting, maybe my website or my social tags on it or what have you. Obviously, I've got my trading cards that I've had through the years, the Pokemon one, the sports one. So there's these things that I've done before. I've won, like we have caps. We had caps for the Comedy Loft House as well. But that one wasn't really mine. That one was more Matt's, and he got all the money for that. But yeah, it's one of those where I always think the more merch you can have, the better as an entertainment entity, should I say. So yeah, I think and then when I gigged with Danny McLaughlin recently, funny enough, he closed Jack's gig as well. When he did the 151 show, he was selling his books afterwards, and he sold a few, and I thought, oh, that book's a good idea. People love books, and I know that Ryan Kenny sells a lot of books. He's a mate of mine from around when I started, still going strong. And I think, yeah, maybe a child's book is the way to go for me. So that's kind of what's got me on that wavelength, me wanting to do more merch, seeing that kind of stuff. And I guess I could just take them around in a backpack, and then if people want to buy one, sell them. And if people want to buy them afterwards, be like, listen, here you go. I'll take your money now and give me your address and I will send it to you. And I guess I can do it like that for people as well. So yeah, that's on the agenda. So guys, get pre-ordering your children's book from me. It's coming soon, and I'm going to be spending a lot of money on this thing, just hundreds of pounds just to print it. So never mind what gets paid to whoever illustrates it. So please help me out, please. I've watched a brilliant documentary, and I've not finished it, but it's an undercover cop documentary on Disney Plus, and it's an ITVX documentary, and it's on undercover cops who have relationships with women while they're undercover, and the women don't know that they're undercover, and then eventually they leave, and then this is around like 20 years ago. These women have found each other, like we've just randomly found each other and gone, hey, your story sounds a lot like mine. Hey, your story sounds a lot like mine. And when they compare them, these men all have a similar playbook, and it's as if the police, this is what the women are saying, the women are saying it's as if the police have this playbook for what to do if you get in a relationship while you're undercover. And then when you come out of that cover, this is what you need to do, and da-da-da-da-da. It's a very interesting documentary. I can't wait to get to the end of it. And the women do feel very let down. And I understand it, because I guess it's a two-sided coin, isn't it? On one side of the coin, the police would say, listen, this is for the greater good. We're not going to do anything too bad to these women, in the sense of like they're not going to be emming them or anything like that. But if they get into, what's the word? I guess for lack of a better word, like a consensual relationship, like for lack of a better term, like if they want to get into a consensual relationship with this man, not knowing he's undercover, then that's completely up to them. Whereas the women are saying that, like, I would have never consented to having a relationship with an undercover cop. If I would have known he's an undercover cop, I would never have consented to any of this. So it was all non-consensual. So it's a very fascinating documentary, because what the answer is, I don't know. Because yeah, I would probably feel agreed to if I were the women, but how would I feel if I was the guy? And maybe if I was the guy, I'd be like, no, I did actually feel that way, and the fact that this was my job and I hid my job from you is nothing to do. Again, I don't know, because I've not got to the end of it. I don't know the men, etc, but very interesting documentary. I recommend you check that out. ITVX Disney Plus, something madness, I guess, but yeah, check that out. Another thing, that Will Ferrell documentary TV show that's dropped on Netflix. I think it's called The Hawk, and he plays like a retired golf player who comes back to golf, and his son's now a professional golfer, and he's trying to get back into golf, and then he ends up playing again. I love it. I thought it was really, really good. It really reminded me of Happy Gilmore, even though story-wise it's nothing like Happy Gilmore. It's just another comedy about a golf player. But I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a real throwback to when I was a teenager, watching all those kind of films, like your Happy Gilmores, like your Anchormans, and all those kind of stuff that was around then that all the teenagers used to love when I was a teenager. And it felt like a kind of perfect throwback of all of those things combined. And I think Netflix have really, really got something in it. And I'm assuming that the customer satisfaction on it will be really, really high. I was going to say the reviews will be really, really high. Reviews, you can take them or leave them, because the reviews will always have people who will be like, nah, this isn't for me, this is da-da-da-da, this is da-da-da-da-da. Well, the people who it's for, the fans, the people who are subscribed to Netflix who are going to watch it, I think people are going to really, really enjoy this when they get through it. And I watched like the whole 10 hours of it, or whatever it is, over the course of the weekend. Now, it doesn't help that my back was hurt, so obviously I was sat at home, but I managed to get through it all, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I would recommend it. I think the guy who plays his son is really good. One of the other guys who's famous from that era, he's in it. Is it Owen Wilson, or one of the Wilsons, or whatever he's called? He's in it as well. He plays another one of the golf guys. Yeah, really, really fun watch. WWE Untold has got a new series out on Netflix, which Untold is supposed to be like a behind-the-scenes look, a behind-the-scenes fly-on-the-wall documentary. Now, a lot of the stuff that they give you especially in the first season and a bit in the second season, was definitely geared towards making you think a certain way. Now, every documentary is that. However, with this one, I feel like they've gone a bit more like, do you know what? I've only watched the first episode. Like, do you know what? We don't need to really work them into thinking this kind of way. What we can actually do is we can give them the stuff that's just interesting and just let them see how it actually plays out. So in episode 1, John Cena's retiring, and then Seth Rollins gets injured. So they're losing one guy through retirement, and then another big guy goes down, and all of a sudden they're like, what are we going to do now? Like, how are we going to fill these gaps? We were going to use this guy who's now gone down to really boost another guy's career. Well, now we can't do that. We're going to have to put that on the back burner. Very, very interesting. Great to see all that behind the scenes stuff. I'll probably be watching more and more of that tonight. That's something that's interesting. The World Cup came to its conclusion. England beat France in the third place playoff 6-4. Nobody cares about the third place playoff. However, this game was so good, everyone started to care about it. Everyone had a jolly good time in it. Bukayo Saka scored a hat-trick. It was such a fun game to watch. Like I said, it was coming off the back of that gig in Bolton where I was supposed to be sat at home waiting for it. I had the pizza, got back. After about half an hour, boom, time to tune into the football. Watched all the build-up. Watched the game. Really, really fun. 6-4. France didn't turn up in the second half. Came back a little bit in the second half. So, didn't turn up in the first half. Came back in the second half. Really, really fun game of football. On the flip side of that was the World Cup final. Spain versus Argentina. Now, interestingly, Spain play a very stodgy style of football, and Argentina play a bit more loose attacking style, and they're the entertainers. However, in this game, Spain were playing their stodgy football, and Argentina were playing dirty. And because of that, the fans across the globe all were getting behind Spain. I don't think I've ever seen globally at a World Cup people all unite on the same page more than they did in this tournament getting against Argentina in the final. There's so many people who love Lionel Messi who are like, do you know what? I hope Argentina lose. I think Messi's the greatest footballer of all time. I would have really, really loved to have seen him win a second World Cup. However, we were all so far behind Spain. It was unbelievable. I did a video about it as well the day after, and it got like 750,000 views just talking about football. That's the extent of how many people were really, really, really against Spain, that so many people ended up seeing my video about football. If I did another video about football tomorrow, it would probably get 2,000 views. It wouldn't get anywhere near that kind of level of engagement or any kind of level of interest. So that's the level it was. Spain won. Congratulations to Spain. Their second ever World Cup, 2 within a 16-year period. Will they win the next one? You just never know. 4 years is such a massive turnaround. Either way, I'm excited to see where things go in the future with the World Cup and what happens going forward. Some sad news, though, that I do want to talk about is I saw today that a friend of mine, I've not seen him for a couple of years. His name's Dan Morton. I know 2 lads called Dan Morton, actually, so I should point out this isn't the Dan that we used to work with. If anyone watches this who I used to work with, it's a different Dan. He is not very well, and it made me really get nostalgic for my friendship with him. And I cannot claim to be like a great friend to him because we've only actually met each other a few times in life. And I'll give you the backstory of how we became friends. So I used to do a wrestling YouTube channel where I would talk about wrestling. I would make videos going to wrestling shows. And I don't know how he stumbled upon them, but he found them. And I've got lots of videos still on there where I would go to WrestleMania every year, 30, 31, 32. And he messages me somehow on some platform, I don't know where, and he basically says something along the lines of, I've been watching your videos, I'm going to WrestleMania, and I think he said something like, I would love to buy you a pint. And I said, oh, I really, really appreciate you reaching out. Thank you so much for watching my videos. But I don't drink, but yeah, up for meeting you at some point. And he would go to a lot of indie shows at the time, and I was going to a few indie shows, and I think it was a progress. It must have been a progress show in Manchester at the Ritz, and he messaged me something really sweet like, I don't know if it was this show or another show. He was like, "Oh, can I come say hello?" And I was like, "Absolutely, come on, mate, absolutely." So he came over, said hello. Lovely fella, lovely chat. Had just a quick chat, and he said, "Yo, what do you think of the show?" Basic conversation, nothing blow you away. It's just these two blokes who know each other from the internet meeting for the first time, having a chat. Then he says, "I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I've really always wanted to go to WrestleMania, and he said, I've watched your videos, and it's just given me like a few ideas of other things that I can do while I'm at, or whatever he said. I can't remember, but I'm just kind of paraphrasing. And it turned out that we ended up being on the same flight, because I booked my flight, he booked his flight. So when I messaged him and I was like, "Oh, what flight are you on?" Because I knew we were flying the same day. I went, "What flight are you on?" And he went, "Oh, I'm on, I don't know, the 9:45 to Orlando," whatever the time was. And I was like, "No way, I'm on the same flight." So he's like, "Oh, sick, like, I'll meet you at the airport beforehand. We'll have a chat or whatever. We can hang at the gate together, whatever." I broke my thumb about a week or so before we were supposed to go to Orlando. So I'm stuck in a thumb cast like that. I've got to hold it up that so the blood is whatever the blood does, I don't know, but keep it protected and all that kind of stuff. He gets to the airport a little bit earlier than me. I think my dad might have dropped me off because of my broken thumb. And he messages me going, "Listen, I don't know if you smoked or what, but somehow he's like, I've just got speaking to one of the air stewardesses, and I've mentioned that we're both on this flight and we sat separately, and she's put us together. So I hope that's fine with you." That's not a problem whatsoever. I've now got someone to sit next to all the way there. We can chat, between sleeping or whatever. That'd be great, fantastic. So we bonded all the way through the trip. Then we started to spend more time with each other through the week. I can't remember what we'd planned beforehand, but I remember we went to Hooters while we were out there, which I'll be honest, I was against going to Hooters, just for the record. I think we went with KP as well. There's a group of us that went. We did multiple things together that week, and then I remember seeing him at an ROH show in Liverpool, where he's from. And then I remember bumping into him randomly in Cardiff at WWE Clash in the Castle. And that was the last time that I've seen him. And then I saw him put something on Facebook today about not being well. And all those memories just came flooding back to me in like a 2-second burst of just like that. And it made me really remember what a nice chap he is, and how we bond through wrestling. We only see each other at the wrestling. He's from Liverpool, so I think we discussed a few times, like, "Oh, I'll let you know when I'm in Liverpool," and then, because you get so busy and so many people do say in comedy, like, "Oh, let me know when you're in the city." I don't know if I've ever told him or telling him last minute and stuff like that, I don't know, but either way, we've just not been able to connect recently, and seeing that, like, I don't know if he watches this, I don't know if he will watch this, I don't know, but either way, like, I love you, mate, like, I hope you're alright. I hope you're alright. Whatever's going on, whatever the details are of the situation, I don't want to pry and I don't want to ask you, but I think too often in life we wait for people to pass away before we give them their flowers. So I wanted to say what a nice chap I think he is, how much I've enjoyed his company through the years, and how I really appreciate him, like, reaching out and those kind of things. Right, I'm gonna go, guys. I think that's me cooked. I'm done, guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.